Hi there and welcome back. So now that you have started to look into platforms and software programs, I wanted to talk to you today a little bit more about the actual principles of poster design. And we're also going to look a little bit more at a few example poster sessions, just so you can really see some design choices that are out there and really how to make your poster an visually appealing presentation that describes your research or what you found from your Unit 2, what you have to say that is something new about the research or an argument that you have to make. So today we're going to review just a little bit about grabbing attention. So it's very important if you're at a conference or seminar, there may be 100 posters in a room, maybe when you're having breakfast or lunch, just for people to look at. So it's kind of important that as your audience and spectators walk by, you really want to focus on grabbing their attention. So in order to do this, you're going to give your poster a title that will draw attention and summarize your project. Important information should be the largest, and you will make the title larger than your name and affiliation at the top of your digital poster. So the title letters should be at least size 80-point font. This means that they'll be about 1.5 inches, and this means that you should be able to see it from about 6 to 10 feet away. You'll be able to see that title when you walk by the poster. Again, when you organize information on your poster, organization is really key, just so viewers can go through your poster and understand all the different sections and expectations. So as discussed previously, the most common organization for scientific posters is the introduction, the materials, methods, and literature review, the results and the conclusions, and it can also be helpful to sketch out your information or how your information will be organized before you start planning in the software program. So maybe you even just get out a piece of scratch paper and just kind of visually plan where your sections will be and what's going on with that information. Another tip too, I know this is about the 20th time I've told you this, but I will tell you guys again and again and again. Your poster must be 300 to 600 words for the text limit. You'll keep your body text as brief as possible and do not use blocks of text. I highly recommend short sentences or bullet points. Once again, this will make it so your text chunks aren't quite as heavy, and it will be a little bit easier just to take in that information. Light neutral colored backgrounds with dark text are the easiest to read. In a few previous presentations, we saw the example about flying pigs in space with the Star Wars background. And we kind of saw how that one was very difficult on the eyes, and it just had a lot of information going on in there. The other thing that I'd really suggest is you use bright colors sparingly. So just to make your poster a little bit more subtle and visually appealing. The next very important thing is that you should only use images, graphics, charts, and figures that actually support your ideas. So any extra or external material that you are using for your digital poster session absolutely needs to work with the text. So if you have an image, you're not just finding images off of Google Images just to throw in, or making a graph or a chart really needs to actually explain your data or what you have found in the past. Later in this module too, there will be a presentation about what you need to cite in your digital poster session. So this will be any images, graphics, charts, or figures that you did not create yourself. So unless you took this picture yourself or you created this chart yourself, that would be the only way. If you're also doing figures and charts, you also need to create a label header for that. And that presentation will talk more about that too. Another big thing for a tip for poster design is to use no more than 2 fonts throughout your poster. It just really keeps everything a little bit more uniform for you when you start to work through it. And it also just makes it a little bit more visually appealing for your audience. And then again, as a college student, you always want to review assignment sheets before you turn an assignment in. And if you would be presenting a digital poster at a conference or seminar, you would actually want to review the expectations from that conference or seminar before you attend that conference. So for flow and design, we're going to talk a little bit about this. So in general, your poster should flow from top to bottom and from left to right. And these are two very popular organization templates. So you'll notice at the top of both the templates, there's the area for the title. And then the sections are broken down where it flows from top to bottom and left to right. So your introduction should almost always be in that top left corner. And then you can decide from there where your information will go. So this is just very easy for the eyes to then follow the information. These are also templates. I included a hyperlink in a little bit for you so you can actually use these templates, so you can download these. Again, these are all PowerPoint. This will just give you an idea of really how to lay out information. So a few things that I really like about this, or these templates, I really like how there is enough white space. I like how it is divided, and I like how there are no huge chunks of text in here. So with the introduction, it's very brief, short, to the point. Again, explain your main point, explain your thesis, explain the implications of the study. And then your materials or methods or literature review, again, will be very brief. And one thing that I really like about these templates that I found is that the results and conclusion sections are the largest. And then again, there's the references, acknowledges, and maybe some recommendations for future research on this one. So I think this is a great template and an idea to get you started. With this one, it's almost the same. The results is a little bit bigger with this one, and then the references and other information is over here. I really like the focal point of this template is the results section, so that's where your eyes immediately go. And I really like just the general formatting and layout of that. Here's one horizontal with this, and again, you will notice that the results section is the largest. Also noticing here that maybe there's not a lot of room for graphics and text, so you may have to make room for that. But then again, you don't really want more than 3 or 4 graphics in your presentation anyways. So for these helpful templates, you can download these templates from this helpful website. There's also a giant helpful do and do not list on this website. If you're really struggling with formatting and design choices, I would highly recommend that you look at that list. Just as another optional and supplemental resource for you as we begin to work on this project more. I will also review 3 example digital poster sessions with you today and discuss some negative and positive example design aspects. So this will really help you make your own choices for your poster and help you prepare a poster that is well designed and visually appealing. So once again, I'm going to give you guys just about a minute to review this one, and then I'll talk about it a little bit. So with this example poster session, I really like, again, just how clear this one is and how little text there is. So I'd say this one is maybe 2 to 250 words of text. So you might need a little bit more than this in yours. So with this, I'll just make maybe only 1 graph. Since you didn't do your own primary study or research, you probably won't have 3 graphs in yours. But I really like how this one flows and just the overall organization of it. So positive points with this first one is that the title is clear, the text is concise, The color scheme is simple and pleasing, and the graphics work with the content. For negative points, the results in discussion, if you look closely at it, do not relate back to the introduction. I also believe that the font could be a little bit larger. So again, I'll have you review this one just for a little bit. If you are still reviewing it when I move on, as always, you can press the pause button on these videos. So with this one, I really like just how simple it is overall. But one thing that I'm not really super crazy about is that it just feels like it has a lot going on in there. So maybe there isn't enough white space. I also really like how all the extra material, such as images and graphs, work very well with the text. So I really like how these two images down here in the Greenway section, it's the images and then just bullet points under it. So everything is very easy to understand on here, and it does work very well together. So for a positive point with this one, the poster is quite visual, results and conclusions are concise, color scheme is pleasing, and the text is visually appealing. For negative points, there's not enough white space, and the graphs are too small and difficult to read. Give you just a second to review this one. So with this one, the first thing that I hope you notice is that it is a little bit creative, but the text is very hard to read with the lion figure in the background. So for a positive point, it has a nice attention-grabbing graphic, the lion, a large title, easy to understand headings, and it is very well organized. For negative points, the poster seems text-heavy. It is hard to read the text around the lion graphic. The title is not very informative, and there's not enough white space between the text and graphics. So the most common mistakes with formatting are the objectives and main points are difficult to read, text is too small, poor graphics, so only use high quality images. We'll talk about that in another presentation too, and then poor organization. And here are the references for you. As always, please email or let me know if you have any questions.